Well, Rivers is a big-time scorer with a complete offensive package. He's got the deep three-point shot, the mid-range, an exceptional floater. This young man loves to compete, and he has the swagger and confidence that you need if you're going to be considered the best. If the game's on the line for the West, put the ball in his hands, clear it out, Dave.
He also has a chance, you're right, he has a chance to be Brandon Knight of last year. That last second shot's going in his hands.
Not a bad backcourt when you consider Austin's the #1 shooting guard in the nation and Marcus Teague is the #1 point guard.
Those guys are very good, but I'm throwing out my pick to lead this game in assists. Mike Kabungo. Rick Barnes, there must be a direct flight from Toronto to Austin because this is Rick Barnes' 3rd McDonald's All-American from Toronto, and I'm throwing it out. Mike Kabungo, can you lead this game in assists?
Well, Austin Rivers is a guy that's going to try to lead in scoring and lead his squad to a win. And the #1 overall player in the ESPNU 100 now joins us over the phone. Austin, what is it like to play in the same game that your dad did back in 1980?
It's an honor. I've been waiting for this for, my whole life. Over the years, I've gotten to see greats playing here, such as LeBron and Melo and all those guys. And now that I have an opportunity to showcase my skills and just in a historical game, it means a lot to me.
Well, Austin, coming into this game as the top-ranked player in the class, people are focused on you and trying to close that gap in the overall class rankings. What kind of pressure is it for you, and how do you handle that on such a large venue?
I really just don't think about it. I use it as fun for me. It makes everything more competitive. It makes me want to work even harder when I know that people are, aiming for me. I really never care about anybody else's expectations because at the end of the day, my expectations are higher than anybody else's. And, I feel like, I have a lot to improve on, a lot to work on. So, right now that's the only thing I'm concerned with.
Well, Austin, we know this nomination and this selection to the McDonald's All-America game has been a long time coming for you. You could kind of see it in the works with your performance over the past 2 years. Your head coach, Mike Krzyzewski, what has he told you about the honor and what it means to play in a game like this?
He just said, a lot of greats have been through here, and that, just to represent Duke well, with class, and that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm just going to come in there, just try to meet new friends and, just have fun. I only get to do this once. It's not something I get to do every year, so, I want to be able to look back at this from 20 years from now and say, that was one of the best times I've ever had playing on a big stage like that.
Well, you certainly have made a name for yourself. Now having this opportunity up in Chicago, what do you want people to say about Austin Rivers following this game?
That he's just a playmaker and a good guy. I want people to think, I'm a good teammate and someone easy to play with. And I want people to, leave the gym thinking I'm better than what they even thought I was. Anybody can look good on YouTube highlights and stuff like that, but I like looking good. Not looking good, but necessarily just I want to play the way I'm capable of playing, and I want people to, when they leave the gym, just to feel like Austin Rivers is really the best player in the class.
And when you play like that, your team usually wins. Austin Rivers, hey, congratulations, making it to the McDonald's All-American game, and we appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's focus on some of the guys joining him on that squad and Wayne Blackshear before going to Louisville.
But we got to get this guy a start. He's from Chicago. The game's in Chicago. We need to see that three-point shot in the starting lineup. I think Wayne Blackshear is an underrated player nationally. He's earned his McDonald's All-American status. He's got great range. He will prove when he gets to Louisville just how a good all-around player he is, Paul.
Well, Marcus Teague is a one-man fast break. He can take the ball from coast to coast as fast as anyone. And when he gets in the lane, you're at his mercy because he can score or find the open man. If you play with Teague, you better run with him. If you play against him, you better get back on defense.
So the West backcourt is certainly looking strong. Kentucky loaded once again with the #1 overall recruiting class. In the East backcourt, you have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Big pickup for Mark Fox because after this, going on to play for the Georgia Bulldogs, staying in state because he is from Greenville, Georgia. We talked to Austin Rivers. He's got a future in the backcourt for the Duke Blue Devils, but at the same time, so does Quinn Cook, one of the top point guards in the class.
Yeah, he could have a big job if a certain young man named Kyrie Irving isn't around next year. But Quinn Cook continues the lineage of point guards from Oak Hill Academy. 27 McDonald's All-Americans. Steve Smith, he looks young and vivacious out there, but he's been doing this a long time to have 27 McDonald's All-Americans, and Quinn Cook just continues that tradition of point guard play at Duke University.
Yeah, this isn't a bad lineup at all. Some of the players from Oak Hill to go on to star in this game. When you're throwing out guys like Brandon Jennings and Ty Lawson, even some guys like Devendorf had a great career at Syracuse as well.
They call Oak Hill Academy Point Guard University. Brandon Jennings, Ty Lawson, Rondo, now Quinn Cook.
Hey, remember a guy named Steve Blake, who was also a point guard. They've had so many. Rod Strickland, Kentucky. It goes on and on and on, and Steve Smith has the most in the history of this game.
Let's talk about some of the shooters we're going to see in this backcourt as well with Bradley Beal.
Well, Bradley Beal, I'd like to call him the Ray Allen of the high school ranks. A beautiful jump shot from long range. Love to watch this young man off the ball. He moves to get open, and he utilizes screens better than anyone in his class. He's going to bring deep three-point range and accuracy to this game.
And competitiveness. That's what Brad Beal really does well. And speaking of what somebody does well, P.J. Harrison is a good dribbler, but it's that jump shot that everybody wants to see because he has deep range. Deep. From North Carolina, played at Chatham, Virginia, Hargrave Military Academy, and bang, you just give him an inch and he will make you pay.
And he's 6'6", Dave. He can see over defenders.
Big point there, Coach. Michael Carter-Williams, we're looking at footage from where I think he made the McDonald's All-American game. He was one of the best performers at the Peach Jam, had 44 points in one game, used that performance with a young BABC team, and continued it with Mike Hart in St. Andrews in the high school year to give Syracuse just an outstanding recruiting class. 2 guys for the Orange.